give the floor to the next speaker. Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the family of volunteers, it is an honor for me to take the floor to share with this distinguished assembly the summary of the key points of the various reports of the workshops and events that took place in the area of the volunteer movement during 2004-2005, and some points about our participation in this process. Starting from 2002, the volunteer sector has had an opportunity, thanks to a multi-stakeholder approach, to contribute actively to the summit, particularly by participating in elaborating texts, mobilizing volunteers, and incorporating the volunteer projects within the information society. It's important to remind you here that volunteers, if you put them in one country, would represent the fifth most powerful country economic power in the world. And volunteers, while there are many, are rarely represented in the decision-making process at the highest level. As recognized in the framework of the first phase of the WSIS, it's important to recall that volunteers have actively participated in creating what we call today an information society. They have written the first internet protocols. They're the source of many open software and freely available software, and they are the main vectors in conveying information and building the kind of society that we want to build. Volunteers also contribute to cultural and linguistic diversity. Now, while the volunteer movement has been very happy to be fully associated in the multi-stakeholder process of the summit, we have noted several times that volunteer movement is not sufficiently understood and supported by governments and other stakeholders in the international arena. So we would like to see a better understanding of this movement and sector, which has a considerable impact on the social and human development of our world, and specifically on information society, in order to also in implementing the Millennium Goals. This is why we note with regret that while the importance of the volunteer approach was recognized by the first phase of the summit, it was left out of the second phase here in Tunis. We are proud that with modest means we have managed in 2004-2005 conduct a number of campaigns on volunteers and ICTs, and we think that these examples and the projects that have been launched following various regional, local, and international consultations that on this topic have made it possible to create a solid foundation for the next phase beyond the Tunis summit. We, in conclusion, would like to emphasize that volunteers are links between the local and the global levels, and here we'd like to mention the resounding success of 2001 year of volunteers. They are innovators, and they can make their modest contribution to the international community in its attempts to find the appropriate use of ICTs by promoting partnerships between South and North and South, or by launching online volunteer initiatives. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, we would like our potential to be used, our potential to mobilize people to be fully used, our experience and our professionalism to benefit the largest amount of people as possible. We need very little to have a great impact. We would like to work in close collaboration with the various stakeholders associated in this process in the framework of the multi-stakeholder approach, namely with government, civil society, and the private sector, to enable the implementation of goals set out in the documents of the summit. Thank you very much.